What's poppin', y'all? It's your man DJ Steph Floss here with episode 7. Yes, lucky number 7 of our Friends of the Program podcast. And today we're going to be tapping in with my good friend Heather Haynes, aka Homegurl. Heather, my homegirl, everyone's homegirl. She's a producer, video producer, director, creator, an amazing person, an amazing friend, and she has an amazing job and some amazing things going on right now, like many of us do. Today is, for me, probably day like 12 or so of this quarantine due to the COVID-19, and I'm making the best out of this situation. I think a lot of us are. So, I just wanted to, before I give her a call, tell everybody to keep their heads up, keep working, keep doing whatever you can do to make you and your loved ones happy. Stay inside, check on your family, wash your hands, do everything that everybody has already been telling you guys to do. And most importantly, make sure you stay tapped in with myself as well as the Friends of the Program podcast. So let me call Heather right now. And, you know what I'm saying, so we can have a nice little chat. You can get to know another one of my very, very dope friends. Of course, as always, I have to try to figure out this Skype situation. Here we go.
Hello.
Heather, what's poppin'? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we're rolling right now. We want to welcome everybody out once again to episode 7. Heather, you're lucky number 7 of my Friends of the Program podcast. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. 7 is number of completion.
Is it? Oh, okay. Now you're a holy person. I don't really think I know that side of you, but
Oh my God.
what are you doing over there?
I'm chilling, I binge watched a lot of TV today, so.
You know what's crazy? It's such a weird question. I was talking about Guy Jamal the other day, and it's just you get so comfortable with how we speak to each other. We're like, yeah, so what are you doing? What are you doing today? We're all doing the same thing. We're in the house. We're in the house chilling, working. We're in the house. It's not really too much. I got to stop asking people what you're doing because I know.
Yeah, it's nothing really that exciting.
All right, so look, Heather, before we get into, the meat and potatoes of this, I'm not sure if I really explained to you what I'm doing with my podcast. So basically, I started this podcast, Heather, as a means to showcase and highlight some of my amazing friends that I have in this industry as well as other industries. I just feel like I know some very dope people, and I want the world to know them as well as I do. And you are one of those very dope individuals that I know. So I just wanted to let you know that that's why you're on here right now. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So before we get started, I like to do this thing where we have some icebreakers, and I'm gonna ask you 5 random questions, and then we're gonna proceed with whatever else I have going on. So my first question to you right now, with everything going on, what are you currently watching or binging on Netflix, Hulu, or whatever your streaming platform is?
My favorite show right now is Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu, with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. I think it's a great show. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But I wish I could binge watch it. Like, they release it every week, I guess, like episodic.
Yeah, I don't like that Hulu
So
does
that makes
that.
that makes me like anxious to watch it. I just finished Tiger King on Netflix. That was the most bizarre thing I ever seen in my life.
Yo, don't tell me about it because I'm on episode 2 of Tiger King right now, and hopefully we don't ruin this for anybody. But it started off with Homegirl losing her arm, and then she's like, I don't want to get the surgery. I'm gonna just get it taken off so I could go back to work. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with her?
Yeah, it only gets more insane. Like each episode, supersedes the previous episode on insanity.
Oh my God! Anything else you watching?
What else? I want to watch All American. That's what it's called, right, on Netflix.
I keep hearing
everyone keeps telling me to watch that. So
I'm gonna probably watch that next as well. So you're watching a couple of things. I'm watching the joint with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington as well. I'm like a huge Reese Witherspoon fan. So when I saw that she had a new show, I was like, let me tap into that. I'm doing the Tiger King. I'm doing Like I feel like an old lady watching this, but it's so good. It's called Grace and Frankie. You gotta watch that on Netflix. Grace and
Yeah,
Frankie.
my mom watches that.
Oh my
Okay.
god, I love it. Exactly, exactly.
Maybe I'll watch that to support you and my mother. So okay.
What Snowfall? I'm catching up on Snowfall. On my block, and then every Monday and Wednesday I watch the Ratchet VH1 shows. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that. If you could choose one celebrity to be quarantined with right now, who would it be? Just one.
Rihanna.
Oh my God, you're gonna take mine. That was mine. One.
Yeah, like who doesn't want to be quarantined with Rihanna? We'll be doing makeup videos, all type of shit. Like
Get your TikTok lit.
TikTok will be lit. I'm sure she'll have some gossip about some of these dudes in the industry.
Well, I
You
don't want to hear
know?
that. I don't want to hear that. I got other plans. Well, not plans, but
Mm-hmm.
I got other reasons why I would want her. I just want her to get the album out. That's what I want. That would be my preference, to get the album out. What's one thing that you've discovered about yourself within the past 2 or 3 weeks that we've been on this COVID-19 hiatus?
That I am a great cook. I already
Uh,
knew that, but now I'm
get
like,
out of
damn, I don't really
here.
know how to cook. And that I'm also kind of a introvert. Like everyone keeps
Hold
checking
on, you
on me,
said
and
it.
they're like, "How are you doing?"
You said an expert.
No, an introvert.
Oh. I don't
Like
see that
everyone's
with you.
checking on me. Yeah, everyone's checking on me, thinking I like to be out in the streets. I'm just good at being out in the streets, but I enjoy being home as much as possible.
I think Lena Waithe said it. I've been adapting to this like pretty easily, and I started to realize like this is pretty much my life as far as like me DJing and stuff. I don't really like to come out the house until I have to go to work or go to a gig or absolutely have to. But then Lena Waithe said something like, I realized I'm not like a stay-at-home body. I'm a do whatever I want to do body. And it's just like, just because I can't go outside, now it's like I want to go outside. But I'm actually loving this reset time and time in the house and working on things from over here. So I think as a lot of us are.
Me too.
Very, very random question.
Hmm.
As a self-proclaimed amazing chef that you are, what's your favorite eye on the stove?
My favorite what?
What's your
I.
yeah? What's your favorite eye on the eyes? It's 4 eyes on. Well, some have 5 eyes on the
You
stove.
call it a eye? Is that
What?
really what it's called for real?
Yeah. What do they call? What do you call it?
A burner.
A burner? No, they're called eyes. They're called
I
eyes for
never
sure.
heard of such thing. I was 2
Excuse me.
years old when I found that out.
Well, happy birthday. It's called an eye. Or we'll say burner because you're the guest. What burner is your favorite?
The front right one.
All right, you're perfect. Anything else is uncivilized. I tell people that I say, yo, front right that's the first one you need to go to in any occasion. I saw somebody put
Yeah.
like back left. I said that's nonsense. You burn up your arm like if you're making grits, they're popping everywhere. You eat grits, right? You eat grits,
Of
right?
course I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your southern roots in a minute. All right, top 5 black TV shows of all time. Don't have to be in order.
Okay, not in order because that's very hard to do. That's kind of a hard ass question. Top five black TV shows. I want to say the game,
All right, the
the
game.
original,
All right, let's
the
talk.
original one.
I'm sorry, but before you continue on, the game always rubbed me the wrong way because girl Melanie she was a freak and she was very wrong in everything that she did. Am I
Oh
tripping
my
or
god,
am I being
Girl
like
was a fucking asshole.
am I
Like,
being like a misogynist or like am I being just a
yeah,
typical man? No, you're crazy. That man did everything for that lady and then like she was cheating. The man asked her not to be around homeboy that was the football player because it'd make him look bad. What did she do? Hanging out with him, cheating with him, doing all this stuff. All Derwin did was pay for that woman to go to college, and he messed up one time.
he had a girl pregnant. Okay,
But
fuck out of here.
he wasn't with her. He was not with her when he got that
It
woman
doesn't
pregnant.
matter.
What do you
Janae
mean it
got
doesn't?
pregnant. It was a wrap after that.
They weren't together at all.
It all went downhill.
All right, but girl Melanie was trash. Anyway, all right, so that's one. What's your other 4?
Um, Let's see. When I was young, I used to love One on One. That was a
Oh,
great show.
yo, this is why I love you. I don't want to keep interrupting you, but my cousin created that show. Rest in peace, Janetta T. Boone. She her anniversary of her passing was actually the other day, March 20th. She passed last year. That's my blood cousin. She created that show.
That's amazing. Oh my God, I
Like,
was obsessed with that show.
oh my, did you watch the spinoff cuts?
Yeah, with Ray J, and also I signed a petition when they shut UPN or whatever CW whatever it was down. I signed a petition to keep One on One, and they didn't. And I was pissed.
Oh my God, yo, that's so dope. I can't wait to tell my family about this. They'll hear it like that's
Yeah,
so.
because I wanted to see if Tyler Pratt broke her virginity to Ray J, but it just fucking ended, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
because they went to the beach house. Yeah, remember they went to the beach house?
yes,
Yeah. Oh my God, yo, that's crazy. Yeah, that's my cousin. Like I went out there for that 100th episode. Shout out to the 100th episode because those actors and actresses are still getting paid those residuals when that show shows, as well as Yanetta and the family. But yeah, that's my family. So great choice of show. All right,
okay, let's see. Fresh Prince.
classic,
Yeah, I was more of a Fresh Prince fanatic than a Martin fanatic. I know that's a big debate in Black culture. I
huge
watch both.
debate, huge.
I watch both of them. Don't get me wrong, but like I resonated more with the Fresh Prince.
Okay.
But let's see. That's such a hard question. Moesha.
Moesha, okay.
That's how many I'm
Enter
at.
her.
That's four.
Yeah, you got one more.
Oh my God, that's just too hard. I want to say like Girlfriends. I want to say The Cosby Show, or I want to say it's so much stuff I
Just
could
give me one.
say.
One.
Black shows. Mm, okay. Okay. I want to say it's Family Matters. I used to love that when I was little.
Shout out to Jaleel White, my guy. You see what happened with Family Matters, like with Steve Urkel. When did he become like smooth and suave and there? When did look?
Stefan.
Yeah, exactly, Stefan. Shout out to all
Oh,
the.
and Sister. What the hell? It's too many. Five is too hard because I have so many shows.
Well, you got some good ones in there. You want to know another a funny fact though?
What?
So One on One is my cousin Yanetta's show.
Uh-huh.
You know who else my cousin is?
Who?
LaFonda.
What LaFonda? Who is LaFonda?
You ever see Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
LaFonda, the black woman that was
Yes. I know about.
what's his uncle? Yeah, that's my cousin. Remember she was on Cuts.
The spinoff. Yep.
Yeah, that's my cousin as well. So
Damn, you so lit. Your family lit.
I mean, that's what's going on over here. Shout out to Janetta once again. But as we continue on, man, once again, this is episode 7. This is my homegirl, Heather Haynes, everyone's homegirl, Heather. Why do they call you homegirl, Heather? Like, where did that come from?
Actually, Homegirl how that comes from. This is so random, but it comes from a Lil Wayne song called Alphabet Bitches. And he says H is for my hometown homegirl Heather. So like in New
Oh,
Orleans when that song came out, they was like, yo, is he talking about you? And I was like, no, but okay. So like they just ran with that because I'm the hometown homegirl Heather according to Lil Wayne.
all
So
right.
everyone started calling me that.
So you live in New York now. You are from New Orleans. So like I was telling everybody, you're an amazing friend of mine, an amazing person. You're senior video producer and director at Viacom right now. You're the creator of I know the one thing you took the picture of me at Baddies and Brunch, as well as you have some other projects going on as well. So that's why I made the joke of everybody about watching the Ratchet TV on Mondays and Wednesdays on VH1 because my homegirl Heather, she's the producer of a few of those shows. And before we get to that though, so your background is you hear the accent, everyone hears the accent. You are from New Orleans and you love New Orleans, right? So what's your background? Where you from exactly? College, all of that.
Okay, I'm from New Orleans,
What are you doing?
Louisiana.
Drinking? What are you drinking?
Oh my God, I just had a sip of water.
You're like
Relax.
on an interview right now. Like, sheesh, give me some respect. No, I'm just messing with you.
I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Born and raised. Gentilly, 7 Ward, 8 Ward. What else? I went to college at Clark Atlanta University. Shout out to the AUC. And after college, I moved home for a year to like figure out what's next. And I always wanted to move to New York. That was like a dream of mine to move to New York. And also, I wanted to work in music and fashion, entertainment, all of it. I interned in New York at Columbia Records, at Complex, and then, long story short, Complex offered me a job. I took it in advertising and marketing. Then they launched Complex TV, and I transitioned to Complex TV because my degree was in radio, TV, film with a concentration in television production. So it was like a perfect opportunity
Oh,
to
nice.
launch Complex TV. And I did that for 3 years before going over to VH1, and I've been at VH1 for the past 5 years.
Great, amazing story. So now, exactly what do you do as a senior video producer and producer for VH1 or Viacom VH1?
So my day to day consists of me pitching original creative ideas that we can execute on our digital platforms, as in Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's a huge priority right now, Snapchat, etc. So I kind of like lead the ideation, me and the rest of my co-producers on ideas for those platforms. And then we have a lot of shows on TV, as you guys may know, Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink Crew, T.I. and Tiny, et cetera, et cetera. So my job is to support those shows from a digital standpoint, whether it's like thinking of ways to, deep dive into the talent that's on the show with like interview series that supports the show, or think of creative Instagram content we can use that promotes the show. So things like that.
So this is actually because of your job. It's actually how we met, and so as always, I like to let everyone know how I met my friends. That come on, what are you doing? You're breaking glasses over there too now.
Be quiet.
Jeez, be still. No, but so I like to let everyone know how we met. So I actually was at home minding my business, not planning on going out. You know what? I was, but I'm lying. I was planning on going out because I had a party that night. So my guy Rodney, shout out to Young Rod the Guide. He hit me up like, "Yo, Steph, you in Cleveland?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, my homegirl." This is so funny. I say this and that's your name. He's like, "My homegirl Heather, she's in town. She's a producer for VH1. She's working on a show right now, and she's gonna be in town, and she, probably wants to kick it. So I'm gonna link you guys, and you can take her out." I was like, "Oh yeah." And what party would I had to do? It was actually kind of classic. I had to do the. It was Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. It was Gabrielle Union's birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Gabrielle Union's birthday. It was her birthday party, and it was like a pajama. No. It was sweatpants and sneakers theme, and like DJ Quick ended up popping up. He was a special guest performer. So I had Heather meet me at the club. This is our first time meeting, so I'm like, "Yo, I got to do this party. Boom, boom. I'm gonna have you meet me there. We're gonna party." She came, and I'll never forget. Like Rodney is like making me think you're ready to super turn up and everything. And you come in, I'm like, "Yo, what you drinking?" And you're like, "You want a hot toddy or something?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? A hot toddy?" I'm like, "What are you talking?" You're like, "I'm sick." I'm like, "Yo, I don't care if you're sick or not. We are partying, we are drinking, and like we had a good time." You ended up figuring it out, but I think you end up leaving me early or?
Yeah. First of all,
Well,
you forgot to tell the folks I was very prepared with my outfit. I had the flyest sweatpants on and sneakers.
I
Okay.
thought you were gonna say I forgot to tell the people what show you're actually working on. She was working on a show with Amon Shump, Cleveland Cavalier at the time, and Tiana Taylor. What was the name of the show?
Yeah, Tiana and Iman, that was my show.
Tiana and Iman. Yeah, your outfit was decent. It wasn't messing. I remember I had the crazy orange. I had the crazy orange
My
sweatsuit.
God.
No, it was
This is
mine.
me. You had time to prepare your outfit. This is me coming off the plane in like clothes that I didn't pack for a party, and I happened to have on my baked sweats and my Jordan ones. Okay, thank you.
It
But yes,
was
I was sick and I needed a hot toddy.
yeah. So we partied and we hooked up the next day. We went to Router Corner for like some breakfast, took it to the airport, and then that's where our friendship has. So for the most part, anytime I'm in New York, I try to hook up with her. She's so busy. She like sometimes she stands me up, and
Oh my God,
it's.
that is all lies. Okay.
But we did have a good time last time I was in New York. One of the last times, Soho House. You got very very drunk, but I'm not gonna harp on that.
Good night. That is not true.
So with you as a producer of these shows, the VH1 shows, you said, do you do all the Black Ink Crews?
Yeah.
All the Black Ink Crews.
Black Ink Cruise, Love and Hip Hop New York, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Tiana and Iman when that show existed, T.I. and Tiny. So yeah, it varies, but those are my main shows right now.
All right, we're not that far along into this, into this quarantine process, like a couple weeks or so. But
Mhm.
has your work been affected by the COVID-19 crisis at all, or in a major way, or slightly, like if it has been?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a little crazy because since I worked in digital space, like our jobs has only like ramped up. So right now I have a lot of video conference calls about creative ideas we can produce and execute digitally and remotely. So I've been in tons of brainstorms. It's kind of all a little bit exhausting, to be honest. Um, but I am happy to contribute to the content while people are at home looking for things to watch. So yes, it has ramped up. We're trying to figure out how to navigate it all and implement some balance into our work from home schedules. But it's still the ball is rolling. So yeah, I have to brainstorm new ideas like literally every day for MTV and VH1.
So has it been? I mean, has it been pretty smooth with the whole team? Oh,
No, it hasn't. Like we're not falling short with ideas because like it's easy for me to come up with cool ideas. It's trying to figure out the best way to execute them. So we want to do a lot of things with our show talent like remotely. So it's like trying to figure out what equipment do we need to send them
oh,
to
right,
shoot
right.
their own content, and then what system do we need to put in place to transfer the content from them to our editors to edit it to still make it look, nice in some way. So we're trying to figure out the workflow right now. So that part is a bit confusing because everyone has like different ideas on how it should go. But once we figure out the workflow part, I think we'll output a lot of dope content. But everyone is doing so. I think everyone right now is using their social media platforms
Right.
um, to the best of their ability to keep the content rolling, keep people engaged, keep their brands popping. So I think it's a beautiful time on that front. Like, if you have anything to release digitally, I think you should do it. And like, yeah, I think it's dope.
So I was gonna say that your job probably a lot of your job depends right now on the availability of the stars of each show, because you could come up with these ideas and everything, but if like C's is sick or C's is busy or something like that, like what I'm saying, you're not gonna be able to really pull this off. Are they are is your talent on these shows, are they pretty much easy to work with, or like because you've been working with them for a while, or does sometimes it gets hectic, or you just don't like them and you could be honest?
I mean, I feel that's so funny. I feel like it varies from day to day and from city to city. I've been there at the company for a while, so I feel like once talent got comfortable with me and they know who I am, then it's all good. I can like talk to them and get the job done. But like if it's someone new who I'm not really familiar with, it might be a little harder to get across to them because a lot of talent has their guards up because they're used to show production and like the producers on the actual television show, they might, do some shady shit or whatever. So it's kind of hard because we don't know how to separate the two. Like, I don't work for the show production. Like production companies shoot the show and they sell it to VH1. Like I
Right,
work for the network, which is VH1. So a lot of talent gets confused. I'm like, I'm not out to get you guys. I'm out to help
right,
I'm
right,
not, I'm
right.
out to like promote your show and to help your show get viewers. So you should probably want to work with me. But I've had good and bad experiences throughout my almost 10 years in the industry, um, with different people, but I charge it to the game. I don't really take things personally. I think maybe off in the beginning I did, but now if I have like, if talent has a bad day and they like curse me out of some crazy shit, like I'll like be upset at first, but then I'll get over it because I'm like, whatever, like people are crazy.
One of the one of your talent is actually from Cleveland. Do you have a relationship with her at all, Donna? Or what is that, Black Ink Crew, New York or whatever?
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Donna. Donna
yeah.
is amazing.
She's from. Oh, before I get mad at you, now I'm gonna get very very mad.
What?
Did you come to Cleveland when they had their Cleveland show?
What Cleveland show?
Remember they came to Cleveland like for to visit Donna's family. She
Oh,
wanted to.
no, no, no.
Oh, you didn't come. All right, I was about to get
Because
very.
that's the show production. See, I'm not involved in
Oh,
that side
okay.
of it.
I was about to get very mad about that. Now, this is something I've spoke with you uh, off the camera and off the microphone about, but I gotta ask you on here because it is my podcast.
What?
I still probably won't ever tweet this, but I love watching the Black Ink Crew New York. I love watching Nine Mag Chicago. I really like the one in LA. What is that one called?
I am Compton, Black Ink Crew Compton.
Black Ink Crew Compton. I really like that. But Heather, it's a lot more dark liquor drinking and partying than it is tattooing. Like, come on, guys. When are you gonna do some tattoos on the show?
This is true, but guess
All
what?
right,
I have
hold on,
no.
Heather, they're giving us one tattoo every 2 weeks. Enough is enough. It's called it's a tattoo. It's a Black Ink Crew. It's ink. It's like, come on. We need more tattoo. Why don't they get tattoos on the show? They get tattoos is when something gets like very very sentimental, and then the music goes down, and then they're like, oh yeah, I was sick when I was 8. And I started seeing angels. I thought I was about to pass, so I want to put an angel on my arm right here. Can you do this for it? And then that's the only tattoo for the next 3 weeks. Is it not a tattoo show? What are y'all doing?
That's a lot of fans have commented on the lack of tattoos that's on the show. That's why me and my team created a digital series called Tattoo Tales, where we had each artist from the show
Hold on, what is it called?
do a tattoo. Tattoo Tales.
Tattoo Tales. And this is like, where does this live?
It lives on YouTube.
Okay, cool. All right, so you have each artist from the show do a tattoo, and
Yeah. And the tattoos usually have like a meaning behind it. So we cast people that want to get a tattoo that obviously symbolizes something. Then they meet the artist and we film the entire process. And it's a lot of great storytelling. So my favorite episode is with Ryan Henry from Black Ink Crew Chicago. He did a tattoo of it's like a mother and daughter tattoo that he did on this lady, Latoya, whose daughter survived fire. So she's covered in like 3rd-degree burns, and he did like a tattoo to honor them. It was dope, and the daughter was there. It was like so dope. That's my favorite episode, and that's season 1.
So I gotta go check it out. How long are each episode?
They vary between like 7 to 9 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect. That keeps you know what y'all should do? If you can make this, I don't know if this would affect your job or whatever, but at the end of the show, after everybody's fighting, and then it's next time, and then like the father is like running down the street or whatever. I can't wait to see that too, by the way. Y'all should to see more footage or something, to see some actual tattoos, go check out Tattoo Tales on YouTube.
On VH1's YouTube. I totally agree.
Throw that out there. We need more.
Yeah, because it needs more views. It has tons of views on Facebook. Like, Facebook is a really popular platform for that show, but our main priority is YouTube, and the YouTube traffic is low. So please go run up my streams. Thank you.
I'm gonna definitely tell everybody, and everybody that's listening right now, I'm gonna make sure I tell everybody to go check out Tattoo Tales on VH1's YouTube. I'm so glad. Like, that's like I want to tweet that all the time, but there is not a person on that show that's above like responded to me, and I don't want to be beefing with nobody over no
Don't be scared. You can say it on your podcast. You can
tat.
say it on Twitter.
But it,
No.
there it is. I don't want those problems, but now I know that there's an outlet for it. So we got that going on right now. As from all of those shows, if you could, without being like making anybody mad, which one is your favorite to like work with and work on?
uh, that's a good question. I really don't know if I have a favorite. My favorite cast, I would say, is Black Ink Crew Chicago. Just because they're the most down to earth to me. Like we can kick it, we can like go eat after the shoot and drink and talk shit, and
You know
that's my
why?
favorite cast.
You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're from the Midwest.
Hmm.
They're from the Midwest.
What does that mean?
That's how we are from the Midwest. Like New York, New Yorkers, you're around them. No disrespect to New Yorkers, but like if it's not New York, it doesn't matter. Like everything revolves around New York to a New Yorker. It's like someone from New York would legit probably ask you like, "Where's Cleveland? Where is Cleveland at? Like, what state is that in?" Like, if it doesn't involve New York, it doesn't matter. But us Midwesterners, we're such good people. We're so loving and caring and down to earth and easy to deal with. So that's why that's said about Chicago. It makes sense now.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm saying like you see how we deal with each other. I love the fact that there is a what do you call it, the Black Ink Crew LA, because I was wondering when you guys were gonna ever like stretch out to the West Coast, because I know that like the Ink Gang, I mean he's not on there, but like with Mr. Cartoon and all of that, like tattoos and the culture out there is deeply involved in tattoos. So I really appreciated that. But the dopest thing about that is backtrack to something else that we talked about, that you get to actually like work with Kyla Pratt. And that's one on one. Did that ever resonate with you?
No. So I didn't know, meaning like, okay, when Black Ink Crew Compton was greenlit and they told us we have to go to Compton to shoot and meet the cast, I was super excited to meet Kyla Pratt finally and work with her in some capacity. But for our shoot, Kyla Pratt wasn't there.
Oh
So
God.
that was that. So I didn't
Oh,
meet Kyla Pratt, but I love her husband, KP. He is super dope. So yeah, honestly, I love all of the Black Ink Crew cast. Like, the Compton cast is hella cool. The New York cast, like, that's the homies. I see them out in the streets all the time. And Chicago, like I said, I love them. So I think the Black Ink Crew cast members are just definitely more like down to earth than all of the Love and Hip Hop cast.
so you would say, without me having to ask you which you prefer working with, you would just say that the Black Ink Crew is more down to earth and easy to work with.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
A
probably got the
100%.
probably because it's so much with the hip hoppers, the rappers and the artists and all that. It's crazy with the love of hip hop, and I get draped off every week. I watch it. No disrespect to you, I'm like, I'm not watching this anymore. And then next week I'm to it. I can't wait to see why the father is going to run away on, what is that? Is that tonight? Black Ink Crew, Chicago.
That's Black Ink Crew. Yep.
Well,
That's New York.
shout out to the amazing job that you're doing with those shows. And outside of those shows, you are a creator. Your Baddies and Brunch thing. I remember we were having brunch at Soho House. Which one is that? Dumbo. And
Yeah, Dumbo Hall.
you took a picture, which you weren't supposed to be taking. By the way, you're not supposed to be taking pictures. And
Whatever. I don't care.
you're not supposed to be taking pictures in Soho House. But you
Cut it
posted
out.
you posted it on your Baddies and Brunch site. So exactly what is and what are Baddies
Baddies
and
that
Brunch?
brunch.
Yes. I'm sorry. Elaborate. What
No,
is it?
okay. Baddies at brunch. It just started out as me going to brunch with my friends. Simple enough, right? But people started to always comment on my brunch content, like, "Oh my God, you're always out with cute girls. You always going to brunch. Like, you're so lit, blah, blah, blah." And I was like,
You gonna say
honestly,
blah blah
like,
blah like you don't like it. You love it. You love it.
no, like, it's just like, whatever. It's all like, people's perspective. But
Right.
anyway, so I was like, I do love brunch because I think brunch is a time to link up with friends that you haven't seen all week because everyone's busy working. And it's early enough to like day drink and then still come home, get to bed early, cook dinner. I think brunch is the perfect time for anyone over like 30 plus that has like other things to do. So yes. So I decided to brand it as Baddies That Brunch. Um, so me and my homegirls, we go out and we eat brunch. It's really pretty simple. People think it's like a women's empowerment collective. And honestly, like I have dreams for it to be bigger than what it is. Like I want to do sponsored brunches and just bring people together. But it's not going to be like a panel of women trying to teach another woman how they should be, living their life. I
Right,
have no
right.
interest in doing that. I kind of just want to have a great time. Men are definitely allowed to come. It's not excluded to just women. And then I had one event last year in the spring. Hopefully, I have another one this spring. But I had one event in New York, and it was like self-funded. I did it on my own. And I had a DJ, and I rented out this restaurant. We had brunch, and it was so many guys that came out. It was honestly more guys than girls
Of
because the
course.
guys knew that I would have quality women there. So I thought
Uh-oh.
that was like really like something. Like I kind of like looked at that like, okay, this is a thing. Like I need to work on marketing it and focusing on the mission statement for the brunch because I feel like I could low key be a matchmaker and provide quality. Like for real, like
you
homegirl hook me
yo,
up is a thing.
listen, you are treading like crazy waters because you're starting to sound like a madam. Like you don't want to jump into the
Right.
you don't want to jump into the like matchmaking the you don't want to because then it gets to
What's wrong
like
with being a madam? I feel like
it
that can
get
be a
it
very
gets
profitable side
it
hustle.
gets I mean especially with what's going on right now pimping ain't never dead but I'm just no let's stop
Oh my God.
back
I
to your
think it
friend
might be my calling, to be honest.
to be a pimp.
Not a pimp. I'm going to be a connector. I'm
Okay.
connecting two people together. That's something that's a void in my community. It's a void. I have so many friends, as you mentioned, and they're all single and lonely. And I'm like, I can figure this out. I can help y'all.
You know
So
what's
my
crazy?
brunches, you can find your wife at one of my brunches. Yes.
The crazy thing about that connected thing, I do that a lot now, and I get that. I'm not gonna front. It's very beneficial, especially for people like us that work in a similar industries. A lot of times, you find people that are afraid, or just it's just afraid. They're just afraid to really connect people because they have this dog eat dog mentality that they don't want to see someone else get further than them in whatever arena that they're in or for whatever reason. But that's so whack. Like we're all like, especially what we're doing, we're all young black and we're all great at what we're doing. And it's like we need to empower each other. And I got this from like Johnny. You know Johnny Nunez? Do you know him personally?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, kind of, sort of. He doesn't know me, but when I first moved here, I worked on a project with him. But
Yeah,
continue.
he does this so well, and sometimes some people may get aggravated by it. Doesn't like anytime he'll see me out or wherever or see anybody out. He's taking his pictures, of course, and he'll be like, yo Steph, you know Heather? You don't know Heather? Hold on. Heather, come here. Yo, this Steph Floss, DJ, boom, boom, boom. This Heather, she's a producer, boom, boom, boom. Y'all need to connect. All right, take a picture, boom. And then now me and you are stuck in a position like, oh well, hey Heather, hey Steph, you all right? Like, yeah, let's connect. And he does that all the time. So I try to do that as much as possible now because that's what it's about. Especially with a lot of stuff what we do. Our talent gets us a lot of places and takes us far, but it's a
Hmm.
lot. It's a lot about who we know. I've gotten a million gigs just based off of people knowing me. You know what I'm saying, and vouching for me and things like that.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yes.
to get like you. That's the
Uh,
goal.
no, you already got it. I mean, you got to connect from. I'm just a little guy from Cleveland. You got New Orleans under your belt. New York. What did you say to me the other day? New Yorkleans. What was
New
it?
York lenient.
New York lenient. Is it enough people in New York to have a New York lenience like thing going on?
Yeah, it's a collective. It's a lot of us. New York Lenians is a collective of everyone that's from New Orleans who lives in New York, and we have Facebook groups,
Oh, this is a thing.
Instagram.
This is a real
It's a
thing.
thing. Yeah, Facebook, Facebook group, Instagram. We have group chats where we just stay connected with one another. Like we talk about New Orleans shit. We share recipes. We plan outings together. I eventually want to grow that into a big party as well. So I have visions for both of my brands, and I need to like figure out how to make them bigger than what they are. But the New York Minions one is so dope because we're all like moved here to work on our careers, and we popping like collectively. We're so popping.
I was going to ask you that. So 2 questions. I want to backtrack to your brunch. What kind of brunch do you prefer? Do you prefer like a super lit brunch with like a DJ and it's turned, or do you prefer more relaxed, semi lit, maybe some music in the background, but not really bottle service and things like that? Which brunch do you prefer?
Honestly, I think it's kind of hard. Like people always ask me like, when is the next Betty's at brunch? And I'm like, it's hard as hell. Because I'm trying to find a venue that I want. I think it's dope. 2, the food has to be great, and 3, the vibes has to be perfect. And it's like hard to find all 3. That's kind of been my dilemma. But I'm a foodie, so the food has to come first. And a lot of the places in New York with good food are like mom and pop shops, or like hole in the walls that can't really house a Betty's at brunch. So I'm a food girl. Forget the party. The food not good, then it's kind of like, why am I here? I can party anywhere.
Well, that's
But
that's the New Orleans
ultimately, yeah. Ultimately, I want to combine all of this. Like, where is a place I can get good food? The venue is spacious enough so I don't feel all cramped and crowded, and the vibes are dope. So I haven't found it yet. I'm looking, if anyone is listening to this that can send me some recommendations, please do. But the food comes first.
I like the brunches that start off at what's brunch time? 11 to 3 or something like that. I like brunches that are traditional brunch times, and then that can transition into a party that ends maybe like around 9 or 10. I like that because I like to be able to sit down and actually eat. I don't really need super loud music while I'm eating. Now,
I don't need that either.
Like after I'm finished eating, so that's what you should do. Look into that. We're gonna have sit down food from this time to this time, and then we're gonna turn this thing up from this time to this time. You can have
9 o'clock. That's too late.
I'm saying like 8. You could cut it off at 8. You could. All right,
oh my God! If we starting at 12, it needs to be over like 4.
Well, that's you gotta pace yourself. You can't. There's no way you're gonna ask people to eat and party and only give them 4 hours.
That's what's wrong with black people. Y'all don't know how to be on time for shit, okay?
Are they like that in New York too? They're not like that in New York too.
Yes.
Are they like that in New Orleans?
Anyway, anytime I make an invite, I always tell people like the time. Say the time is 3 o'clock. The actual reservation is going to be at 4 o'clock.
Yo,
because people are late. I love to be on time.
Yo, a nightclub in Cleveland, Ohio, doors open at 10 o'clock. It's over at 2 o'clock. I've seen I've seen people start rolling in and get it packed at like 1:20. Like it'll be like
that's
slow.
Ridiculous.
It'll like, come on, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
Like, why waste that outfit and that makeup and all that shit?
Now, as a New York lenient, am I saying it right?
New York lenient, yes.
As a New York lenient, do you find yourself like, man, I miss New Orleans. I want to be back there all the time, or have you pretty much fully adapted to your situation and everything in New York?
No, I miss home every day. Like, I would love to move back home. I want a house. I want a backyard. I want a washer and dryer. I want a car. I want a garage. Like, I love home. I miss home. Being from New Orleans and having the goal of moving back home is what motivates me to figure out my side hustle so I can have multiple streams of income so that I can own property in New York and New Orleans. So New York Lenience is always about connecting the dot back home. I would love to be involved at home as much as possible with a lot of things that they have going on. So yes, I miss home every day. I do want to move back there. I just don't know what that looks like right now or when that will happen. But it is a goal of mine.
Shout out to New Orleans. I have some amazing friends, down and from New Orleans. Shout out to my brother Brennan. Shout out to my brother Chasing Cash. Yeah, speaking of Chasing Cash, yo, so Chasing Cash, right? We talked about this, right? Yeah,
I know
shout out
Brennan as well.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Larry Morrow. If you're listening to this, his restaurant is still delivering and takeout.
No, they're not anymore.
Oh, they're not?
Don't give people a fake news.
No, I just saw a post last week. I thought it was. All right, well, I guess not. Well,
it was, but not anymore.
Okay, he'll be back open soon. But speaking of New Orleans, so with everything that's going on with COVID-19, I remember, I've been talking about it. I've been telling people stay in the house. And one thing that I've realized is it's a lot of people are hard headed. A lot of people, for whatever reason, a lot of times I think it may be like just some people really don't, you don't really understand what people have going on at home. So being at home sometimes is a struggle for a lot of people. They're not happy with their home situation. A lot of time there may be some abuse situations or whatever. It's a lot. I don't mind staying at home, but a lot of people can't be still for whatever reason. And I remember seeing Chasing Cash make this tweet, and I was like, yo, I didn't really think about that. He was like, yo, everybody's tripping. He said it, better than I'm going to say it, but like everybody's tripping about COVID-19 and all of that. And I could tell you guys have never really had to like have gone through anything like I went through Katrina. This is nothing compared to what happened with Katrina. And I was like, yo, I never really even thought about like a situation like that. And, with people and families being displaced and, deaths and as well as disease and just lack of resources and things like that from the United States government at the time. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. It's people from New Orleans that moved and never came back. Like, were you down there? And was that 2005?
Mhm. Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
In New Orleans.
I was senior high school in New Orleans. It was a very tragic time. But yep, I was there. Hmm.
So what was that? What was that like with the hurricane on the way? Was the news like because as you know I wasn't down there, but like was the news really like you guys you have to evacuate the city? And was it that easy to evacuate the city, or was it harder than what someone like me would think it would be because I wasn't there?
I will say that New Orleans, like we are used to having hurricanes come to the city, and we're used to them like not being, as devastating as Katrina was. So it'll be like, rain, we'll lose power or whatever. So in my 17 years of growing up in New Orleans, we've had hurricanes, and I probably only evacuated maybe like twice. And then I evacuated, and nothing really too crazy happened.
Right.
And like people had a bad habit of like staying put to weather the storm.
Right.
And it became a habit, not knowing that Katrina would be a different beast that we wasn't able to really prepare for. And I remember we were going to stay in New Orleans, and I remember like being in the nail shop and watching the news, and they were saying like, oh, it's a mandatory evacuation. But I remember only it being mandatory, like say we had like maybe a 2-day notice, mandatory evacuation. So when I heard that, I told my mom that like we have to leave, it's mandatory, and she kind of still was on the fence about it, like, oh, we'll be okay. And then I think like some of my aunts and uncles called and was like, no, we're all leaving. My mom was like, okay, we can leave. But my dad, he's so stubborn. Oh my God. My dad was like, I'm going to stay. And so my dad decided to stay to like watch the house or something crazy like that. And I recall us getting on the highway to leave. The traffic was nonstop, bumper to bumper. And we were in traffic for like 3 hours.
Where were you
And
going?
then on the radio, I was going to Lake Charles, Louisiana. That's where my brother was in college at McNeese State. So we were going to go visit him. And Lake Charles is 3 hours away from New Orleans. Mind you, I was in traffic for 3 hours, and I only reached like Metairie, which is like Metairie from my house at the time was a 20-minute drive.
Oh, wow.
And I was in traffic for 3 hours. And on the radio, they kept emphasizing, how important it was to evacuate. So I was getting nervous. So I told my mom to turn around out of traffic to go get my dad. And I'm lucky that I did because something in me told me to go get my dad. And we turned around after being in traffic to go get him. We forced him to come with us. And luckily we did because we came back to our house in 8 feet of water. So it worked out.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so we got him, and then we had to get back in the traffic. And it took us, I want to say, 16 hours to get to Lake Charles, which is usually a 3-hour trip. It was crazy. Like, I remember so much of shit. Like, people walking on the highways, people running out of gas. Like, people just started walking on the highway because it was, like, quicker to get where they were going than staying in traffic. It was wild. It was, like, a wild sight to see.
Yo,
and to experience.
that's crazy. I couldn't even imagine. I remember, of course, what we saw on TV and how devastating that was. But like to be in it and to actually have to go through it, it's like sheesh. Like so,
Yeah,
hold
I
on.
only had 3 outfits. It was crazy. Like I packed 3 days of outfits. I mean, I packed off last year, but 3 days
Oh,
of
here we go. I knew
outfits.
you was. I knew you was gonna say something like that.
I packed 3 outfits thinking I'll be right back home. Like I wasn't really thinking twice about it. And just like those 3 outfits, I didn't wind up going back home to see my house, underwater. I think we went back like a month later or something like that. We
Wow.
went back to go see our house before it was like legally okay to go see your house. And it was
Right.
like crazy. Like that shit was like, I am legend. Like it was wow.
That's insane. So wait, hold on. What time of the year was that? Was that September or excuse me?
It was
When
August. It was
August.
August 25th.
So
Yeah.
were you on your way to college or was you going into your
No,
senior
that was
year?
my senior year. My senior year was fucking ruined. Like
Oh
all of the
wow.
things you do when you're a senior, like, prom and all this other shit. Like it was just a wrap. But I remember not wanting to like finish high school because like I was displaced and I had to go to high school in the city that I was in, and I didn't like want to go to a new school, and I missed my friends. All typical feelings. The first
Right.
school I went to, the kids hated me. Like they called me refugee, all this type of stuff.
Ah
And
man.
I remember telling my mom that I want to get my GED. And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck school. Like, I want to get my GED." And she was just like, no." And I was like, "Yes." So we had a big fight about me going back to high school, but eventually I went back to high school and I graduated and I went to Clark, Atlanta for college.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Now, with that, I brought that up because do you have some kind of feelings like Jason Cash has? Like he said, like, I've been through kind of worse
Worse.
than this. Like,
Yeah.
do you have that feeling as well?
I think people from New Orleans are super resilient. Like I feel like I can endure a lot because I did go through Katrina, and Katrina, like no matter how much I can tell the story, I don't think anyone will feel the way that people felt like seeing
Right.
their family on the bridge and like like people were looting and like just things. You have to really like survive. Like you went from living a somewhat normal life to like having to fight for life and survive, and it was like crazy the things that I saw and witnessed during that time. So it definitely made me stronger and more resilient person. So things like this, I try not to panic. I try just to like know that we'll get through it if we all stick together and follow the damn instructions. But I am at a sense of peace. I think what will happen will happen. And I don't try to worry about things that I cannot change. And I definitely cannot change this. I can only do my part.
At all. And speaking of like, people staying at home and doing what they're supposed to do. Yo, what's wrong with you guys in New York? Why can't y'all just sit down? Like, what is going on? What's your governor? Who's your governor?
Kumo, Andrew Kumo.
Kumo. Yeah, he's like. By the way, I love when he's arguing with his brother on CNN. I love that. But
Yes, me
I,
too.
I think he needs to implement a mandatory like lockdown situation for New York. Like y'all are really not listening. Y'all are kind of worse than Florida at this point. Like, what's the issue? Like,
I
what do you?
don't know if that's true. I mean, honestly, I don't know because I'm inside. Like, I go outside to get coffee and I go outside to work out, but the park is directly next door to my house. Other than that, I can't tell you what's going on, but I don't know. He said he's not shutting the city down because people need to get to work and stuff. Excuse me, like to work, like the medical people and people that's
Right,
working for
right.
MTA and all of that. So you can't really shut the trains down if people need to
Of
get to
course,
work.
yeah, you can do that. But
So
y'all,
I don't know, like the pedestrians, how will they force them to stay inside unless they put like National Guards on every corner and be like, don't leave your house? I don't really know.
so what's going on in New Orleans? What is the governor down there in Louisiana? Do they have any kind of mandates or anything? Like, has your family let you know what's going on down there?
Well, in New Orleans, it's pretty wild. Like New Orleans is one of the most rapidly growing cases in Louisiana, and I just saw on CNN that a pastor from a church held church service the other day with over 1,000 people, like an
Oh,
idiot.
come on,
Yes, and it
man.
made national news because he said that the God is going to heal
Oh, don't do
them.
that. Don't
Oh
do
my
that.
God.
Don't,
So
Yo,
Louisiana,
black people are so wild. Black people, I love my black people and our religion, like our religious, feelings. But yo, black people, when it comes to religion, black people are so wild because we do everything and say it, and we just like, yo, God is gonna fix this. But like in the Bible, like there's a passage that said faith without works is dead. So you can't just believe God is just gonna fix everything if you're not gonna put forth any effort towards having that thing fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy.
right? It's really ridiculous, but so that's embarrassing to see Louisiana people act like that. But in New Orleans, it's really really bad. In Louisiana, the whole state is like one of the top cities, so it's really alarming because my mom feels like she has the virus, um, and she took a test, but they told her it's going to take 11 days, which is ridiculous for the results. So I don't know, but it is kind of scary.
A big shout out to Cleveland Clinic. So we're doing some amazing things as far as COVID-19 up here. We have like tests that you could get back within like 8 to 10 hours right now. So we've been blessed up here to have like one of the top two hospitals in the world. So I'm so blessed for that. And what I'm saying, I'm sorry that about like every other like city and state they can't have these kind of medical advancement because it sucks. Everyone, I think honestly, because my mother's a hypochondriac and I check on her every day, and but like she's like she was feeling. Of course, she started feeling bad, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, but then I'm just like, well, just stay in the house and boom, boom, boom. She actually went and got tests, and they said that she was negative. But I think honestly, it's like a lot of older people or anything that's going on happen with them, a cough or anything right now, they're gonna be like they're gonna worry themselves to death.
This
Like,
is true.
and I think we need to implement something so that they won't worry themselves to death. Like like our celebrities and everybody, they're getting tested whenever they want to get tested. It's so many celebrities that's like I have it or I don't have it, but then like the common citizen can't get a readily available test. But I tell everybody, I tell you too, if you feel like you may have it or have encountered it, just stay in the house. I mean, all we got to do is just stay in the house, and you know it'll
I
it'll
know.
work.
I just wonder when this is going to end. Like the
I'm
way it's
done.
going, I feel like it's not going to end soon. But I'm
I'm
trying to be
done with.
hopeful.
I'm done with 2020. Like I think we might as well just get ready for 2021, because even if this does, even if this does end in the next month, a couple months or whatever, I still don't want to be around anybody for a few more months after that. And it sucks because I'm like a hugger. I have to stop hugging people now. I don't even know if I want to like shake people's hands. What's going to happen? Is this our new life? I'm doing deep DJs.
Like, yeah,
DJs are doing
don't be
DJ sets
dramatic.
online. DJs are doing DJ sets online. Are the clubs going to ever open back up? Is this it? What if this is life?
It's not life. Don't be dramatic. We'll be right fine. I think the fall will be so lit and popping. My birthday is in the fall.
Oh,
So
here it
hopefully I
go.
figure out how to make that into a big thing.
You got to have a baddies of brunch celebration.
Yeah, it's like we
That's
back
what.
outside.
Well, we gotta start working on that now that you are cooped in the house working on everything that you have with your VH1 shows. You are an entrepreneur as well and creator. Besides baddies of brunch, is there anything else that you could tell us about that you are working on that we can make sure I can make sure I check out, as well as followers and listeners make sure they check out?
No, I think Betty's at Brunch and New York Lean are my two major like initiatives that I want to work on branding it and growing them, and also Homegurl Heather, which is just me. But hopefully I launch. I'm working on a website so I can house all of my content and my original ideas in one place. So people be like, who's Homegirl Heather and what does she do? You can go on my website and check it out. So it's not just my Instagram page.
And anybody that's in college or in high school or either out of school right now that want to get into producing in a capacity that you are with VH1, like you said, you went to college and this was kind of your thing that you've always wanted to do. So you had your mindset that you wanted to be in digital, you wanted to be in this world. Is
hmm
there is there any advice that you could give to anybody that wants to be in this world? Because this world is actually popping right now, and I think as a result of everything that's going on, it's only going to get increase in poppingness. So
I agree. It's so funny that you mentioned that because when I was like in college, I was told to do digital media because like digital is going to grow within the next 10 years because I always wanted to be like on the radio and do things like that, be in front of the camera. And they were like, oh, that platform, that medium is going to die. Like digital content is the way to go because that's like the future. So I thought that was a smart advice.
Before you continue, radio's never gonna die. Big shout out to radio. We
Oh
are
my
we
God.
are we are essential employees right now. I just want to let you know, radio is so important right now. We're getting the messages out to everybody about staying in the house, washing their hands. We're giving them the best music in the world that they want to hear. Radio is still so important to the world, but we are really transitioning a lot of radio over to our online as well as digital as well
Exactly.
as streaming and
My
everything.
point.
All right, yeah. I had to stick up for radio.
Streaming. Radio transition to streaming. All of it to say, I was taught that in college and I kind of stuck with that advice. And I want to give everyone the advice that Spike Lee gave me when I asked him for advice when I was in college. And his advice to me was work your ass off. It was like so simple and to the point, as everyone knows Spike Lee's personality. And I was just like, when he told me that, I was like, okay, obviously. But it stuck with me. It stuck with me, and that was like some dope advice from him because I have worked my ass off, and I'm going to continue to do so. So I think working in this space is not easy at all, but it's definitely rewarding because you get to see like your videos, go crazy or go viral or whatever. So you get to like see the return of your labor. So I think that's dope. But yeah, work your ass off. Try to find someone that's in it so you can talk to them. And trust the process. No, not everyone's journey will be the same. So, not everyone interned their way to the top. Not everyone worked at like these dope companies. Not everyone went to college. I always feel like
Right.
if I didn't go to college, I'll be further along in this industry because I'll have more experience. So I think just trust your own process and you'll figure it out for real.
Before we get up out of here, like I said before, I met you as a result of another friend, my guy Rodney. So Rodney, if you're tuned in right now, I just want you to I want to thank you for introducing us, but I want you to also know that Heather, you kind of fronted on Rodney. I'm not gonna forget that. Like you told me Rodney was not. You told me the other kid was your favorite. What did you say? Your favorite intern. You said Rodney was a close second. I think that's disrespectful. Rodney should be number one.
No, Rodney was like my most amazing intern when I first met Rodney and I worked at Complex. But then a new kid came like 4 years ago named Harrison.
We're not going to talk
and
about
he's
the new kid.
amazing.
We're not going to talk about the new kid.
But it's different because Rodney and I became friends. So it's different.
Right.
Like we were like around the same age. So like me being like his quote unquote manager was like hilarious. And we became friends and we're still friends to this day. He gave me reservations at Carbone. So Rodney is like that nigga.
Look at young Rodney. God, I love it. That's
that nigga.
That's an amazing quote. Once again, shout out to Rodney for making this happen. Heather, you are amazing. I appreciate and I'm so thankful that I've been able to, meet you and become, such good friends with you. It's been like 4 years now. Three
Yeah.
three
I
or
think
4
4 years.
3 or 4 years now. I could genuinely call you a really, really good friend of mine. Yo, remember the one event we went to? Who did you end up meeting? You took a picture with?
Phaedra.
Oh my God, I've been trying to figure out who that was for so long. That's Phaedra. She's not on your show. She's not on your show.
No. She was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was so funny. We were the only black people at that party.
Oh my God, it was such a random. It was
Random party.
What was it like? Grammy week or something? What was going on?
It was a Grammy week. And we went to see what's his name? Uzi concert.
Uzi. Yeah, we got invited to the Uzi, and then it was like some guy that like tells you how to. Oh, I'm following him. He gives great advice too. The airline guy.
Yeah, the points guy. I follow him too.
The points guy. He does get some good. So that was a great trip. Yeah, but you met Phaedra. She's the lawyer, right? Lawyer with the big
Mm-hmm.
booty. All right, so
Yes.
yes, I still have that picture. I'll probably use that picture when I'm posting this podcast.
Oh
As
my God, that picture is not that cute. What the hell?
I'm sure we got some good pictures together. But Heather, I'm gonna let you get to you. You gotta go work out, right?
Yeah, I might not do it, but I'm gonna try.
And you got a show about to come on right like in like the next 17 minutes. I'm gearing up to watch Black Ink Crew Chicago, so I'm excited to watch that.
Not Chicago, it's New York.
New York, New York. I'm sorry, but he was the last preview he was talking about Chicago because they're about to be at some event, and I think he's mad at Ryan because of that because of Kitty or something like
Yeah.
that. Dude in his
Yeah.
feelings, and I shouldn't even know this much about it. I feel so bad.
You know more than me.
I feel so bad. Yo, Heather, I love you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time with this.
Thanks for having me.
with this
Don't be a
podcast.
stranger, okay?
I mean, what else we got to do?
I know, this is true. I'll see you on House Party
All right, I'll see your house. I'll talk to you later.
later.
All right, bye.